Greenwich is one of London's richest narrative districts, a place where royal ceremony, maritime power, scientific timekeeping, and riverside urban life all intersect in a single walkable bowl of history. Canary Wharf is one of London's most striking urban chapters, a modern financial citadel built on the bones of the old West India docks, a place where Victorian docklands, late century ambitions, and 21st century vertical symbolism all collide. Greenwich Pier is one of the most atmospheric river arrivals in London, with the Naval College unfolding like a ceremonial gateway as you approach. Greenwich has evolved from a Saxon riverside settlement into one of London's most symbolically important districts, known for royal palaces, maritime power, and the birth of global timekeeping. Its history spans more than 1,000 years and includes royal births, naval prestige, and the establishment of the Prime Meridian. Greenwich began as a Saxon village called Greenwich, which means green port, reflecting its early role as a riverside landing place. It developed as a fishing and farming settlement with boats moored along the Thames. Between the 15th and 17th century, Greenwich became a major royal residence. Henry VII owned a palace here. Henry VIII, Mary I, and Elizabeth I were all born in Greenwich Palace. The original Tudor palace, which was later demolished by Charles II, originally had planned to build a new palace here, but it was never completed. James I commissioned the Queen's House for Anne of Denmark in the early 17th century, one of Britain's earliest classical buildings. Greenwich's riverside position made it central to Britain's naval and maritime identity. The area, now known as Maritime Greenwich, includes the old Royal Naval College, Queen's House, National Maritime Museum, and Royal Observatory, a collection of 17th and 18th century structures that define its historic character. The district's architecture and institutions reflect Britain's naval power and scientific advancement. Greenwich became globally significant with the establishment of the Royal Observatory, which played a key role in astronomy and navigation. The Prime Meridian was set here, making Greenwich the reference point for Greenwich Mean Time and global timekeeping. Greenwich continued to grow as a cultural and scientific hub with the development of museums and public institutions. The district's historic core, Maritime Greenwich, was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognizing its architectural and scientific importance. Today, Greenwich blends heritage with modern attractions, including Cutty Sark, Greenwich Market, and the nearby O2 in North Greenwich. Greenwich is one of London's most symbolically layered districts, combining royal history, maritime power, scientific innovation, architectural heritage. Its riverside setting and preserved historic core make it a globally recognized cultural landscape. Greenwich is one of London's most symbolically dense districts, a riverside bowl where royal ceremony, maritime power, scientific timekeeping, and modern skyline drama all converge. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site home to the Prime Meridian and one of the strongest narrative chapters in the entire Thames corridor. Located on the south bank of the Thames, east of central London, Greenwich is known for Greenwich Mean Time and the Prime Meridian. It's a rare district where royal, scientific, maritime, and modern layers sit within a 10 to 15 minute walk of each other. It's one of the best arrival sequences in London when approached by the Thames Clipper. Core landmarks in Greenwich include Cutty Sark, Old Royal Naval College, Queen's House, Greenwich Park, the Royal Observatory, and Prime Meridian. The Cutty Sark is a 19th century British clipper ship launched in 1869, celebrated for its extraordinary speed and now preserved as a museum ship in Greenwich. It was one of the last and fastest sailing ships of the tea trade era, later racing steamships and wool carriers before retiring to become a maritime icon. The Cutty Sark is a three-masted clipper ship built in Dumbarton, Scotland in 1869. Designed for the China tea trade where speed meant profit, it later served in the Australian wool trade where it set speed records. It was later fully restored and now displayed in a dramatic dry dock in Greenwich as part of the Royal Museums Greenwich. The Cutty Sark was built by Scott and Linton and completed by William Denny and Brothers in 1869. Launched on November 22, 1869, it officially entered service on February 16, 1870. The ship cost €16,150 at the time to build. During the tea trade era, it raced to bring the first tea of the season from China to London. It was known for its sleek hull and 32 sails maximizing speed. Although it never won the famous tea race outright, it became legendary for its performance. After steamships dominated the tea trade, the Cutty Sark shifted to carrying Australian wool. It achieved some of the fastest passages ever recorded on the route, and earned a reputation as the fastest ship in the world in the 1880s. The Cutty Sark was sold to Portuguese owners and renamed the Ferreira, later Maria do Amparo. It served as a cargo ship for decades before being bought back by British interests. The ship was returned to Britain in 1922 and preserved as a training ship. It was permanently docked in Greenwich and restored as a museum. Today, visitors can walk beneath the lifted hull and explore the ship's deck. The Cutty Sark is a symbol of Victorian engineering and the final age of sail, representing the global trade networks of the British Empire. It's one of the most iconic ships ever built, preserved almost entirely intact, and is a key anchor of Maritime Greenwich, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Old Royal Naval College is the architectural and ceremonial heart of Maritime Greenwich, a masterpiece of Baroque design built on the site of a Tudor royal palace. It's one of London's most symbolically layered places where royal history, naval power, and scientific heritage converge along the Thames. The Old Royal Naval College is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the centerpiece of Maritime Greenwich. Designed by Sir Christopher Wren in the late 17th and early 18th centuries, it was originally built as the Royal Hospital for Seamen and later became the Royal Naval College, which ran between 1873 to 1998. Today, it's a cultural campus featuring the Painted Hall, chapel, riverside lawns, and a film set famous for its colonnades. From the 15th to 17th century, it was the site of the Tudor Royal Palace, which was called Greenwich Palace at the time. King Henry VIII, Mary I, and Elizabeth I were all born here. The palace fell into disrepair during the Civil War and was later demolished. From 1694 to 1869, it was a royal hospital for seamen, commissioned by William III and Mary II as a charitable hospital for injured and retired sailors. Wren's design created the iconic two domes, open river vista, and symmetrical courts. The Painted Hall by James Thornhill was intended to be a dining hall, but became a ceremonial space. It was the Royal Naval College from 1873 to 1998, where it served as Britain's premier naval training academy. Here, generations of naval officers were educated, including figures who served in both World Wars. It closed as a naval institution in 1998. Architectural highlights of the Old Royal Naval College include the Painted Hall, Chapel of St. Peter and St. Paul, Wren's symmetry, and the riverside setting. The Painted Hall is a vast Baroque masterpiece covering over 3,700 square meters of wall and ceilings, allegorical scenes celebrating monarchy, naval power, and scientific progress. Chapel of St. Peter and St. Paul is a neoclassical interior with a serene maritime-themed design, known for its exquisite plasterwork and organ. Wren's symmetry perfectly frames two domes, King William Court and Queen Mary Court, towards the Queen House and Greenwich Park. The buildings open directly onto the Thames, forming one of London's most dramatic riverfront ensembles. The Old Royal Naval College is one of the most filmed locations in the UK, appearing in films like Thor, The Dark World, Les Miserables, The Pirates of the Caribbean, The Crown, and Skyfall. Its colonnades and courtyards often stand in for royal palaces or European capitals. Greenwich Park is one of London's oldest and most historic royal parks, often sweeping hilltop views over the Thames, the Isle of Dogs, and the City of London. It forms the green heart of Maritime Greenwich UNESCO World Heritage Site. Greenwich Park is 74.5 hectares or 184 acres. It's one of the 8 royal parks of London. It was first enclosed in 1433, part of Maritime Greenwich World Heritage Site, closest to the Greenwich DLR and rail stations. In the 17th century, the Royal Observatory was established and the park became a scientific landmark. Between the 19th and 20th century, Greenwich Park was integrated into Maritime Greenwich heritage landscape. Today, Greenwich Park is a blend of historic architecture, scientific heritage, and open green space. Key features and attractions in Greenwich Park include the Hill and Panoramic Viewpoint, Royal Observatory, Queen's House and National Maritime Museum, gardens and wildlife, and playground and family areas. The Hill and Panoramic Viewpoint is the most famous viewpoint in southeast London, which overlooks the Queen's House, Old Royal Naval College, the Thames, Isle of Dogs, and Canary Wharf. The view is the defining part of the park's identity. Opened in 1676, the Royal Observatory sits at the park's summit. The prime meridian runs directly through it and is a major anchor of the park's scientific and cultural significance. Located within the park's broader landscape, Queen's House is a Palladian masterpiece. The museum explores global seafaring history. Opening and closing times vary seasonally, typically early morning to dusk. Check Royal Parks updates for temporary closures. Greenwich Park is the only royal park with a World Heritage Site at its core. It contains one of London's most iconic skyline panorama and unites royal, maritime, scientific, and urban narratives in a single walkable landscape. The Queen's House in Greenwich is one of the most quietly powerful buildings in London, a Palladian villa designed by Inigo Jones between 1616 and 1635. Britain's first fully classical building, introducing Renaissance geometry to a country still dominated by Tudor and medieval styles. It sits at the center of Maritime Greenwich, forming the anchor of the district's ceremonial axis. The Queen's House became the first pure classical building in the country, with perfect symmetry, mathematical proportions, clean lines, and a sense of serene order. The tulip stairs are the first geometric self-supporting spiral staircase in Britain, a technical and aesthetic marvel, a floating helix of wrought iron. In the 20th century, the Queen's House became part of the National Maritime Museum. Its proportions make it feel like a calm center of gravity in a district full of grand gestures. The Royal Observatory in Greenwich is home to the Greenwich Mean Time and the world-famous Prime Meridian line, the point where east meets west. It sits at the top of Greenwich Park with sweeping views over the Thames and Canary Wharf and remains one of London's most scientific landmarks. The observatory was founded The Royal Observatory was founded in 1675. Flamsteed was appointed first Astronomer Royal. Its purpose was to solve the longitude, where sailors could measure the latitude and not the longitude accurately. Between the 18th and 19th century, Observatory becomes the global reference point for timekeeping and navigation. In the 20th century, scientific operations moved to Hemst Mont Co, then Cambridge, before closure in 1998. The Prime Meridian line marks the division between the eastern and western hemispheres. Visitors can stand with one foot in each hemisphere in the Meridian courtyard. The line became the international standard for longitude in 1884 at the International Meridian Conference. The Royal Observatory was founded in 1675 by King Charles II, designed by architect Sir Christopher Wren with the purpose of improving navigation at sea by enabling accurate astronomical observations. Located at the summit of Greenwich Park overlooking the Queen's House and the Thames, it's managed by the Royal Museum Greenwich. Its key claim to fame is the Prime Meridian and the origin time of Greenwich Mean Time. What you'll find at the observatory: the Flamsteed House, Great Equatorial Telescope, the Astronomy Center and Meridian Courtyard, and Peter Harrison Planetarium. The Flamsteed House is the original observatory building and home of the first Astronomer Royal, John Flamsteed. It contains the historic timekeeping instruments and early astronomical rooms. The Great Equatorial Telescope housed under the iconic Onion Dome, one of the largest refracting telescopes in the UK. The Astronomy Center and Meridian Courtyard has exhibits on space, time, and navigation. The courtyard contains the Prime Meridian line and the famous time ball, which drops daily. The Royal Observatory and Prime Meridian is the birthplace of global time. It solved one of the greatest scientific challenges of the age of sail. Greenwich is set on the south bank of the Thames, approximately 5 miles from central London. This city borough is rich in maritime history and features the Old Royal Naval College, National Maritime Museum, and the Royal Observatory. Use TripAdvisor to help plan your trip to Greenwich. Visit the home of space and time and see the Greenwich Meridian line with an entrance ticket to the Royal Observatory in Greenwich, London. Explore the historic home of British astronomy and stand astride the Meridian line. Get one of the best loved views of London from Greenwich Park. Use my link to get your entrance ticket to one of the world's most infamous landmarks. The easiest way to get to Canary Wharf is to take the DLR or Dockland Light Rail from Greenwich. The DLR or Docklands Light Railway is one of London's most distinctive transport systems, a fully driverless automated light rail network serving East and Southeast London. It was built to connect the redeveloped docklands like Canary Wharf with the rest of the city, and it's become a defining part of the modern London landscape. What makes the DLR unique is that it's driverless. You can sit right at the front and get a panoramic view of the tracks, a favorite for kids and everyone who loves a futuristic ride. The DLR was created in the 1980s to support the regeneration of Canary Wharf, the Isle of Dogs, Royal Docks, Greenwich, and Stratford. It connects major hubs including Bank in the City of London, Tower Gateway, Stratford, London City Airport, Woolwich Arsenal, and Canary Wharf. It runs every few minutes, is fast, frequent, and integrated with the Tube, Elizabeth Line buses, and the Thames Clipper. The DLR accepts Oyster, contactless payment, and travel cards. The stations are simple, open, and easy to navigate. The DLR is the mobility layer of the modern Dockland story, the connective tissue between historic Greenwich, the regenerated Canary Wharf, Royal Docks, Industrial Pass, and Stratford's Olympic redevelopment. Canary Wharf has one of the most dramatic transformation stories in modern London. A shift from imperial docklands to past industrial wasteland to global financial skyline. A symbolic pivot from maritime power to vertical capitalism. The area that is now called Canary Wharf was once part of the West India Docks opened in 1802. These docks handled sugar, rum, coffee, and other goods from the Caribbean, a system deeply tied to Britain's colonial economy. For over a century, the docks were among the busiest in the world, employing thousands of dock workers. It was a self-contained industrial world. The Isle of Dogs was isolated, industrial, and working class. Warehouses, cranes, rail lines, and ships dominated the landscape. The rise of container shipping required deeper, larger ports, and the Thames was too narrow and shallow for the larger ships. Between 1960 and 1980, the docks closed one by one. The Isle of Dogs became a ghost district with massive unemployment, abandoned docks, and a sense of urban isolation. By the early 1980s, the area was one of the most economically depressed parts of London. The London Docklands Redevelopment Corporation was created in 1981 to regenerate the area. They built new roads, the DLR, and opened land for private development. Enter Olympia and York, a Canadian developer led by the Reichman brothers, proposed a bold idea. They proposed a bold idea with turning the area into a new financial district to complement and compete with the City of London. This was a radical idea considering the city was centuries old and the docklands were derelict, but the vision stuck. One Canada Square was completed in 1991, designed by Cesar Pelli. At 235 meters tall, it became the tallest building in the UK at the time. Its pyramid top became the symbol of the new district. The district was called Canary Wharf because it was named after the number 32 berth of the Westwood Quay, which handled fruit from the Canary Islands. The name was adopted for the new development. The area went through early struggles. As an early recession hit, Olympia and York went bankrupt in 1992, and many predicted the project would fail. Canary Wharf found new life in the 2000s as a new group of investors revived the project. Banks and global firms began relocating from the city. The Jubilee Line extension in 1999 made access to the district far easier. The skyline expanded rapidly with the addition of the HSBC Tower, Citigroup Center, One Churchill Place, and Canada Square Towers. With this, Canary Wharf became London's second financial core. Canary Wharf is now a diversified district with tech firms, media companies, residential towers, retail malls, restaurants, and public art. Canary Wharf matters because it's a complete pivot from maritime empire to global finance. It forms a vertical counterpoint to the City of London, London's twin core. Approaching Canary Wharf by DLR or Thames Clipper feels like entering a futuristic citygate. The water basins, quays, and warehouses names preserve the ghost map of old docks beneath the skyscrapers. Canary Wharf is no longer just a financial district, it's a vibrant destination with museums, waterfront walks, art trails, restaurants, bars, and unique indoor attractions. Top attractions include Museum of London Docklands, Public Art Trail, Waterfront Walks, Canary Wharf Shopping Centre, and Jubilee Park. The Museum of London Docklands explores the full history of the Docklands from sugar and rum trade to Canary Wharf's modern rebirth. Canary Wharf is one of UK's largest free outdoor art collections, with sculptures, installations, and rotating exhibitions across the estate. Stroll along the docks, footbridges, and quays for skyline views and calm waterside paths. The shopping center has over 300 shops, cafes, and services across multiple connected malls, ideal for rainy day exploration. Jubilee Park is a landscaped green space above the Jubilee Line station, great for a quiet break between skyscrapers. The district has transformed into a major dining hub with everything from riverside restaurants to cocktail bars. Popular spots include Mackenzie Walk and a growing list of weekend brunch venues. One Canada Square is the iconic 50-story skyscraper at the heart of Canary Wharf, once the tallest building in the UK and still one of London's most recognizable landmarks. It stands 235 meters tall and remains a symbol of the Docklands transformation from abandoned docks to global financial hub. One Canada Square was designed by architect Cesar Pelli and Associates in 1991, but construction began in 1988 at the cost of €624 million at the time. It is managed by the Canary Wharf Group. Between 1990 and 2012, it was the tallest building in the UK before being surpassed by the Shard. One Canada Square is important because it's a symbol of Docklands renovation, a transit-focused urban design, and an architectural icon. One Canada Square was the flagship project that announced Canary Wharf's ambition to become London's second financial center. It helped shift the city's economic gravity eastward. The tower was part of a visionary redevelopment that integrated modern offices with the DLR, Jubilee Line, and later the Elizabeth Line. Its stainless steel cladding and pyramid roof make it instantly recognizable on the London skyline. Inside One Canada Square, there are corporate offices, retail, and cafes at ground level. The lobby was recently refurbished with new reception desks and a barista bar. There are also direct links to Canary Wharf Shopping Center. The Jubilee Line and Elizabeth Line stations are all within a minute's walk. The best photo spots for One Canada Square are Canada Square Park for the frontal view, Rutgers Plaza for looking up at the pyramid, from the DLR for approaching Canary Wharf. The best time to photograph One Canada Square is evening when the pyramid top is illuminated. Crossrail Place Roof Garden is a large, free, semi-indoor rooftop garden at Canary Wharf, designed by Foster and Partners, known for its exotic plants, calm atmosphere, and ship-like timber structure. It's one of London's biggest rooftop gardens and hidden oasis above the Elizabeth Line station. Crossrail Roof Garden is enclosed in a lattice timber roof and was the largest timber project in the UK. Designed by the architects behind the Gherkin, David Foster and Partners, It features plans from both hemispheres divided east and west to mirror the prime meridian. Located at Crossrail Place, above Canary Wharf Elizabeth Line Station, it's free to enter and is open daily, has easy access from the Canary Wharf DLR, Jubilee Line, and Elizabeth Lines. You'll see exotic and subtropical plants arranged by hemisphere, geometric windows framing views of Canary Wharf skyline, a peaceful, quiet atmosphere often described as a hidden gem, a walkway through a ship-like structure echoing the dockland's maritime history. Crossrail Roof Garden is one of the largest rooftop gardens in London. It's a rare green refuge in the middle of the financial district. Great for photography, quiet reading, or a break from exploring Canary Wharf. Canary Wharf is highly rated for its blend of modern architecture and leisure activities. Top attractions include the London Museum Docklands, Crossrail Place Roof Garden, Jubilee Park, and skyline views, including that of One Canada Square and various riverside walks. Use TripAdvisor to plan your trip to Canary Wharf. Check out the latest happenings in Canary Wharf by visiting their Instagram page, Canary Wharf London. Greenwich is one of London's most rewarding districts to visit because it combines a UNESCO World Heritage Site, world-class attractions like the Royal Observatory in Cotopaxi, stunning skyline views, and a beautiful riverside setting, all easily reached from central London. It offers royal history, maritime heritage, museums, markets, parks, and some of the best panoramas in the city. Canary Wharf is worth visiting because it has transformed from old docklands into one of London's most modern, vibrant districts, combining striking architecture, waterfront scenery, green spaces, shopping, dining, and cultural attractions. It's no longer just a business hub. Recent guides highlight it has become one of the city's most dynamic neighborhoods for visitors.